Good evening. Welcome to Berardi and Coke, and it's the official promotion party this week, not the unofficial promotion party that confused our resident attitude dar, Luke. And on that note, I'll run us a little intro. We'll get into it.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds is shit.
We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We had a good start. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things. That's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shit out of this.
I'll tell you what, mate. That depressed, broken man that had watched Leeds lose at Wembley in that intro there, he's no more. We are back.
Positive J's back.
Positive J. I've been back for some time, mate. I've been banging that drum. Not literally, thankfully, because we don't have that at Leeds. We're not tin pot.
We don't need a drum.
We don't need a drum. We didn't need a drum last night, mate.
No. I needed to chill out last night.
You just need to sit down when you got home.
Yeah, well, do you know, interesting, in the wall, I just closed my window because it's boiling, but sirens going off. But when we got home last night, my lad's well into emergency services vehicles and whatever else. And we got home and he looked online and he saw that there were a massive fire in centre in Shrewsbury, so we went back out again.
Let's go have a look.
Well, it all calmed down, so we're just having a look at the vehicles afterwards, so yeah. But here's what it is.
Rubbernecking bastards.
But it's one of those where we sat there and just wired as fuck. So I definitely wasn't going to sleep anyway.
Fucking no, I know what you mean. I was just I were all over the place last night. I was just so happy, Ron. It was just great. Just it was just
outside on your own,
game.
Contemplating a taxi.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was actually. Do you know what? I when I went home, I was the only person outside Ellen Road. Like, I was just like, it's time to leave now. There's no one else here. So, got myself an Uber, got myself home, and here I am, driving, sort of.
Feeling better than you did this morning?
Yeah, considerably. I had to work from home today because there was no way I was going in. I just couldn't.
Hey, what's this? You kissing folk on Easter Monday was weird enough, Jay?
I don't remember that at all. To be honest. So if you want to let me know, Bryn, because I don't remember that one. I genuinely ain't got a clue what he's on about. Unbelievable. Anyway, so we've finally done it. We had his last home game, and you might have been forgiven for thinking it'd be a bit of a test compared to some of the recent matches we've
15th
had.
league.
Yeah, going for promotion, playoffs. They're on a good run. Just let's have a look at your momentum graph right now, Gilly. Let's just start with that, and
we'll call it up. I mean, I can't remember seeing one as one-sided as that.
It's horrendous, isn't it, for them?
It really is, and if you consider, so I thought they've all right, they've been beaten 4-0. I thought their keeper had a fairly decent game. Was it O'Neill? I thought he had a decent game, and some of the saves he pulled out. There was the one that was 3 chances in 3.5 seconds or whatever it was. I think we might have hit post. We won, but there were one that he were kind of already down, and somehow would half stood up and kind of clawed it from behind him. He wasn't off a line or anything like that. He just clawed it from behind him, and then somebody had a shot, and I think that's when we hit the post. And so there was a little bit of luck there, but they've conceded 4. I thought their keeper played quite well, and the momentum graph I think bears that out. It is so one-sided. I can't remember seeing one as bad as that.
No, and if you're a fan of them, you're absolutely seething, aren't you? Seeing your side,
fuming
like that.
Yeah.
How do you carry anything into the playoffs if you finish in your season like that? I mean, I know we are the best team in the league, but still, you'd expect some kind of fight from a team going for the playoffs.
Absolutely. And if you think of the teams that have come from nowhere and got into the playoffs, they've carried the momentum into them, and I think that's the we're showing a momentum graph here, but it's just for one game. But actually carrying form into the playoffs is what you really need. Invariably, when we've failed in the playoffs, it's been when we've been pushing for promotion and we've fallen away towards the end, and we
right.
haven't had that impetus behind us, and invariably we've failed in the playoffs.
I think that's a lot of teams
to it.
do fail, don't they? That have fallen just out of the top
Yeah.
two. It's often not the third place team that goes up, and I think part of that is it's a psychological thing of shit. We've let it go. It's gone.
Yeah, we were
And you
so
have to get
close.
yourself-
And now
you
we've
have
got to
get
go
yourself
again.
back up. And the other teams behind you never had it, so they don't have that feeling. They don't have that thing to deal with.
Yeah,
I think that's got to be
absolutely.
a big part of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I asked a question just as we were going live as to people thought I might be sponsored by tonight. The first is Cronenberg, and the other is tenants out of my perfect draft machine. So there you go. Nobody got any points.
You're just having one then other, then one then other.
Well, no, I'm not. I've not opened the tinny yet. I'm just on the pint first.
I'm disappointed that you've not come on one of them hats with can holders, with straws coming out. Because I could see
potentially
that
the only hat I don't own. I've got straw hats, I've got cowboy hats, I've got bucket hats, I've got caps, I've got snapbacks. That's potentially the only hat I don't own. I even had one of those there, you pull it and it clapped.
Fuck me, man. Have you got one of them umbrella hats?
Somewhere, I think, yeah.
Fucking hellfire. It just gets worse. Fucking hell. That's
hang on a minute. White Snake Bites is here at the start of the show. This is unheard of. Usually that's the sign for us to get offline.
He's buzzing. He's not been to bed. He's over at moon. He's overjoyed. But yeah, going back to the game, which we originally came to talk about. We had a good start as we normally do. Bogle nearly scored quite early on. Solomon looked good again from the off. Aronson looked a bit lively, and he kept doing good things, then fucking it up. Which I think is the thing that frustrates you the most with him.
It is because it feels very much like anything that he does well, he does by accident. And then when he's got any time to process it, think about it, look at what he's going to do, it takes the wrong option. I am worried that we're going to see him next season because we've carried him at this level. I'm really worried to take that into next season. But you are right. Bogle was very, very close. I think when you look at his reaction, he knows, oh, shit, that were a big chance. Because obviously at that point, he was 0-0. And he's like, oh, shit, that were a big chance. And he's like, oh, my God. But it were on a plate from Solomon. I agree. Solomon played really well last night. And I think he's been really key to the form that we've had recently, especially with Dan James being injured, that he took some of that responsibility, and I think he has. He played really well.
That's what you want. You want a player who thrives under that pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
and big shoulders, aren't he? He's taking the mantle on.
I love him. I just hope it's not the last we see of him.
Yeah, I think we know for a fact that we're going to have to make some signings further forward. We're crying out for a 9. We haven't had a 10 all season. Ramazani coming on and doing what he did, I'm sure we'll come on to, shows that he's got the capability to be a player as part of a squad. Dan James clearly has, because he's done it for us, for Fulham, for Scum. I've no issue there. Nonto's done it for us as well, but you can't only have the 3. So if we don't sign Solomon, we have to go and get somebody else. But I would not be averse to seeing him sign permanently if we can make a deal.
I'd love to keep him. I think he's brilliant, and he's been a cut above.
Yeah. Were he man at match last night?
He was, yeah. He was.
Yeah. I thought I'd seen him. There was so much going off. I've got absolutely no idea. You probably only pick up on 20-30% of it because you couldn't see everything all happening all at once.
No.
But yeah, but I thought I'd seen a picture of him with man at match trophy thing afterwards. So
yeah, there was one.
Yeah, it makes sense. He did do really well.
I mean, everybody played pretty well last night, and after Aronson had his shot at the keeper, we got Solomon with his first sort of big contribution where he made the cross to the back post for Tanaka. What a lovely ball that was, and a great finish. And it's
my only issue with that.
I love how happy he looks.
Well, I were in West Stand, and there were a pillar in front of me that meant I couldn't see Tanaka.
Oh no!
So I saw the ball in,
You're
which
like
looked
Chris
great.
Fara. It's gone in, has it? What?
Well, I were almost half mad because it were a great ball in. I was thinking that there were nobody at back post because I couldn't see anyone. And then everybody's all of a sudden cheering around me. So I was like, I'll just join in then.
Did they sell you it as restricted view, or it just tough shit?
Oh, they did. It was still more than £50 a ticket, but it was
You're joking,
with a
mate.
note against it that said restricted view.
It was more than £50 for a restricted view ticket.
£50, 50p. Oh, they don't make any concession for restricted view. They just let you know that it's restricted.
Outrageous. That's outrageous. I'd be fucking livid. Oh, man.
Mate, I would have sat anywhere to be there last night.
Yeah.
So we'd missed out on the initial round of sales. We'd missed out on the season ticket exchange. Oh no. Does that? No, I don't think we waited for the season ticket exchange because I think that's the next round. We went in on the lucky dip and managed to get tickets there. And I would have sat anywhere. You know, I'd have gone East Upper last night. Yeah, the ballot. I'd have gone East Upper last night. I'd have gone in front of away fans. I wouldn't have cared anywhere to be there. And it was amazing. Party atmosphere right from the start, wasn't it?
It was. And the scarves were a good touch. But it made it look a bit like Dortmund, though, when all the yellow scarves were up.
Yeah, I don't actually know where mine is, but yeah, I thought they were nice. And my lad's starting to get a collection now. He's got one from the Derby playoff game. He's got one from Wembley, but now he's got a positive one. Maybe we just need to stop making them white. Let's just have yellow scarves.
Everything good this season is yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really, and obviously got yellow on now. But what really is the cherry on the icing on the cake with that is that Angus said that yellow shirts won't sell.
What a moron! What a moron! I'm not sorry to see the back of him, to be honest with you.
Nah, Tory bastard. He insisted he's not.
He's ever done positive for club. Victor Orta, he was responsible for Badgegate. You know, he sacked Bielsa. He's just an ass.
Yeah, fuck him. Back to the game though. Interestingly, we did have one player that on SofaScore was rated under 7. Do you know who that was?
Oh, yeah. Brendan Aronson. Or was it Carl Darlow? Because he didn't have to do
it. Because he didn't do anything. He didn't get anything wrong. He just didn't have to do anything.
Well, they didn't have a shot until stoppage time.
Yeah.
And we had 10 on target. He was mad.
We'd already had 9 big chances by the time they had their first shot.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. And we absolutely steamrolled them. And we've just sort of, I don't know. We had that thing where we beat Cardiff 7-0 and that, and we could have beat Coventry by that. And then we just seemed to struggle for a bit. And then we just picked it back up and turned it back on, and we're just demolishing everybody again.
Was the Watford 4-0 near the Cardiff game as well? And you're thinking, right, okay, we've hit our straps now. Let's just really set the afterburners going and let's just steamroll at rest. And then we drew 3, lost 1. I mean, bear in mind, it had been about 5 months since we'd lost a game in the league, but we lost 1, and everybody's shitting it then. And actually, we're all right in the end. We might still get 100 points.
We might.
We might still get more goals than we've ever scored in any season.
I think we will.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's just amazing. And after all the shit we've been through, it's just lovely to have this time when we can all be there and we're all part of it. Yeah. And that's really what we were craving, wasn't it? You know, if you consider the Burnley-Sheffield United game and the war zone that was the Peacock, and then outside the East Stand afterwards, you know, that's really what so many of us have missed during COVID. I know some went down and it did look amazing, and then some were at Millennium Square, but that was what so many people had missed out on and were craving. And I think, you know, that aspect, and then last night being able to actually celebrate with the players in the ground, because that was another thing that we're unable to do. You know, when Coops and Pablo and Bielsa and everybody were on the pitch, it was in front of empty stands, and it just didn't look right. So, you know, being able to do those two things, it will be really, really nice if we can go, you know, Plymouth being down, I kind of wanted them to stay up. I wanted Cardiff to get relegated. I wanted Derby to go down.
I wouldn't have minded Plymouth staying up, but not at the cost of us winning the league. Well, they're already down. Let's just go down and absolutely fucking wallop them, because they won't be up for. They'll have been watching last night and thinking,
Oh God,
"Fucking hell, we're already
Oh,
down."
shit.
It's like that Simpsons thing, isn't it? Stop, they're already dead.
It's already dead. Yeah, that's it. They're not going to be looking forward to our visit, are they? They're going to be thinking,
God no.
We've blown it, lads. It's gone. We've run out of
I mean,
time.
if any of their players come out having played well against us, fair play to them, because that's going to be a tough day for them.
It is. You could see, like, last night with the Bristol players, you're looking at it at sort of 2-0, and you're thinking, these lads just want this game to end. They just want to get through it and go home.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, like, the body language. There were no positivity. They didn't look like they believed they could do anything. And
they didn't. It won. You know, like we said, they're in 5th. Yeah, they've had a good season, but something that I think it might have been Dan Moylan on Square Ball. It was Gail that had mentioned it to me and then played it for me. A stat that they'd said on the Square Ball was we're 30 points better than Bristol City, which is more points between us and Bristol City than it is between Bristol City and bottom. That's how good we've been this season, is that the team in 5th are further away from us than the team in bottom are further away from them. That is, for me, that is just incredible. You've frozen, and I feel like I'm here on my own. So either my internet's gone or yours has. Are you back?
I don't know what it's doing. I am. I'm sort of back. I don't know what it's doing.
I can hear you now.
Repeater on landing. It'll decide to stop working again.
Yeah, no worries. Did you hear the start?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's just incredible, absolutely incredible. You know, they're on 67, we're on 97, and then Cardiff at the bottom on 44. It's just incredible.
Yeah. It's mad, and it's absolutely crazy. But it's mad how close all the bottom teams are.
Yeah, it is.
It's mad how close all the bottom teams are, and there's like a couple of points in like 6 of them.
But if we got, Herbert's just pointed out here, if Plymouth beat us by 14 goals or something and someone else loses, they stay up. Yeah, Luton, Preston, Derby are all on 49 points and Plymouth on 46. But the closest side they are to is Luton, who are on -22, and Plymouth are on -36.
Well, best of luck to them with that.
Yeah, they're down.
They've had it.
Which is a shame. They've won 4 out of the last 6. It is a shame for them, but they just left it too late, and they employed Ben Rooney.
Exactly, and that's what cost them. That period has killed the club, basically, and they get what they deserve there for hiring him just because he's a name. We had that.
Smart idea, look.
Always pops up with something useful to say, doesn't he? We had that little period where Firpo had a go, Nonto had a go. It came back out after the keeper made a good save, and then we hit the post, and it was just like it was like the Alamo for him at the back there. It was we were saying we had 10 shots on target. They had 1, didn't they, at the end, and that were it.
Yeah, somebody pointed out there was a blocked shot, but I think if you were looking at betting sites and the stats there, they wouldn't have counted that as a shot on target because it had not gone close enough to goal or travel far enough from whoever had a shot or what have you. So it depends on how you look at it. But I mean, 1 half shot blocked and 1 save made. That's appalling for somebody trying to go for. Do you know, genuinely, I've kind of wanted them to do well in the playoffs because it would be great to see. You're watching something?
I was just checking a video I was going to use in a minute.
We can hear that.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I think from a viewpoint of Bristol City, I kind of wanted them to do well in the playoffs, thinking, do you know what? We'll beat them next season, so that's some points for us. But equally, it'd be great to see Sheffield United actually fail.
I'd love it.
But if Bristol went up, they would beat Cardiff's points record. Absolutely, 100% nailed on. They would be the worst side in the Premier League ever. That side that we played last night, I don't care. What did I say?
Cardiff's.
Oh, yeah, I meant Derby's record. It's now Derby and Southampton's record.
Have they got the same points total now?
They're joint with them, aren't they?
Oh, fantastic! So as long as they don't get any more points, they get that award.
Yeah. They'll be joined with it. So they'll, not only will they have the worst defeat record ever in the Premier League, which I think they've got twice, having conceded 9 in 2 different games, but then they'll be the worst side ever in the league, joint with Derby. But if that Bristol City side that played us last night gets promoted, I don't care. The amount that they'll be able to put in based on their revenues and that sort of stuff, they won't be able to invest enough to make a difference, and they would be torn apart every week.
Absolutely. And it'd be good fun to see, wouldn't it? Always nice to see someone else suffer.
Schadenfreude.
Absolutely, mate. I absolutely love it. I love to see other teams suffer because of how stick we get. So I'll take out, mate. I'll take out what I can get. I take pleasure in that. It's great. Love it. Right, I'm just going to pull this video up now.
Go for it.
Going. Yeah, it's just the next part of the game I'm going to mention. That pass.
Oh, glorious from Piros for Willie Nonto.
That pass. Just amazing.
We can't see that. It's just blocky and jittering all over. We couldn't see it playing, but everybody knows what you mean, so it's fine. But hopefully that'll mean that it doesn't stop us getting monetized anyway, because we're making so much off these videos that'll be at least 20 pence lost.
It'd be terrible, wouldn't it? We'd have to put our own money in meter. No, I didn't bother downloading it because I didn't think it'd be that shitty. But yeah, you know the part. I mean, that ball. What a ball that was! It was just perfect.
People have called it Pablo-esque, and you start hard to disagree in it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would do.
Yeah,
maybe that's going to be Piro's role next season. The new Pablo. He's going to be repackaged and reinvent himself.
Well, have you been on Twitter much? Have you seen what Bet365 had said?
Yeah.
They're fuming. They're absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely spot on. With everything they've said, they're spot on.
Yeah, they tore into the EFL Team of the Year, didn't they? And they said, how can the guy who's had the most goal involvements in the division not be the striker in that team?
Most goals, most goal involvements, most goals. It's like...
It's
very,
stupid.
very difficult.
It's stupid. Like, you can argue for other positions in the team, but the guy who's scored the most goals and had the most goal involvements surely is the best attacker. Surely.
Well,
there's no other metric.
Now, I am doubting myself that we're Bet365 now, but because and I can't find it.
It will Betfred.
Oh, what it Betfred?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, absolutely right with everything that they said. The Leeds United forward has been directly involved in more goals, 26, than any other player in the division this season. That's 5 more than any player that did make the 11. This is despite the fact that he started just 35 of his side's 45 matches so far. Across England's top 2 tiers, the only players with more non-penalty goals than him are Mo Salah, Isak, and Haaland.
Mental, isn't it? And they don't get in the EFL Team of the Year.
Yeah. It's just...
What a bunch of
It's
wankers.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Is it chosen by the second tier podcast?
I mean, they don't know much, do they? So, yeah, potentially.
I mean, I'm speechless that they put Sargent in ahead of him. Yeah, the guy's half decent, and he's had a pretty decent season. It's not had a season as good as Piros.
Well, arguably nobody has, because his job is to score goals, and he's scored more goals than anybody else. But he's also got loads of assists. Yeah. So he's absolutely done his job. And I know that Bryn's in the comments and Bryn's watching. I don't know if he's changed his mind somewhat on him, if he's mellowed slightly on him. He absolutely hated him early in the season.
He did,
but if you look over the course of the last few seasons, his strike rate at Swansea were incredible. And it's not quite as good now, but he's not the main man anymore, and he's had to find a new role in this squad because, all right, he's the main man up front, but actually you would probably say that our real strength is on the wings. James, Nonto, Solomon, Ramazani, that's really where our strength and any depth that we've got really is there. So that's where the focus kind of has been. and he's just steadily got on with his job quite calmly. And that's actually how he plays, isn't he? He's very laid back.
Yeah.
That probably helps.
Some people don't like that.
Some people don't like that. You know, if you remember Lasoga getting box. He was a very lackadaisical player, wasn't he? And Piros very, very laid back. But do you know what? We've had so many players that have snatched a chance. You look at the difference between Piros and Aronson.
Yeah.
And Aronson snatches at every chance that comes his way. He gets all of the passes wrong. He ends up spinning round and then coming. Whereas Piros takes it easy, doesn't rush himself. If it doesn't work out for him, well, he's like, well, it will next time. And he's kind of got that mentality that he brushes it aside. Now, that's frustrating as a fan sometimes, especially if they've missed a good chance. But he doesn't let it bother him, and he just cracks on, and then he'll do his job. And ultimately, he's done his job, and he is top scorer in the season in the league. So fair play to him. He's done his job.
Yeah, absolutely. Like people slag him off for this, that, and the other, but the goals are there. I think he's got better since he's had some competition. I think he's picked up a little bit, like performance-wise. His overall game has got better recently. Because at the start of the season, he wasn't very mobile, was he? But he seems to be linking up a lot better now.
And a bit of a frustration there. If you remember the Norwich game last season, he played the way that Bamford does.
Tore it up.
Yeah, he was incredible. So it's like, can you just do that every time? Because then you'd be brilliant, and nobody would complain about you not putting the work in because you were. He were fast. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how a player can go from not being fast to being fast and then not being fast again. Because it wasn't just that he were working hard. He actually looked really quick for pretty much the entire game. So that's an odd one. Maybe that was just one that somebody got him fired up in some way, or maybe just not being able to get hold of any weed or something. I don't know, but
who knows?
Some it worked. So he's got it in his locker.
Yeah, it's all there. He's got all the ability. It's just he's not shown it often enough in the overall game side of things. But yeah, I mean, as we say, his job's to score goals. He's scored the goals, so he's done his part this season. And when he's come from Swansea, as you say, he was probably sort of their star player there, and he's in a team now where he's just part of the team. You're not the standout guy. You're not the guy. Everybody's part of it at Leeds because we've got so many decent players in that team. It's just spread around, and that's something that players have to sort of adapt to as well.
It is, and as they adapt and as they learn how to wear the shirt, because as has been reiterated again recently, it is a heavy shirt to wear, and as they grow into playing for Leeds, there's also that aspect of maintaining your consistency. If you think back to Jack Harrison. 1 week he's scoring a hat-trick against West Ham and he's absolutely unplayable. Nobody can get near him. And the next, he's putting 5 crosses in and hitting the front man every time. He's stood in corner with Aronson, covering his mouth like this for a corner and kicks out a play. The level of consistency was so far. Now Piros' levels of consistency are not that extreme one way or another. But I think he's becoming more consistent. And that's what he had to do, ultimately. And it remains to be seen as to whether he'll get a full chance next season. There's a lot of theory around that with more time, because if teams are playing in a less defensive manner, as you would expect in the Premier League, where other teams are going to be favourites against us, just for the nature of the fact that we've only just been promoted, he should get a bit more room, a bit more space. And that might really work for him. It's a bit of an unknown, certainly at that level. So that'll be an interesting one.
He's going to have to be willing to run like mad, though.
He is. But that'll be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, it's definitely a place for him in the squad next season. Whether he's a starting guy or not,
I think so.
I don't know, but he's definitely earned his place in the squad. He's not somebody that I'd be looking to move on.
No, and I don't think you'd get the money for him that actually it'd probably be worth. Now, they might test the metal. Somebody coming down from the Premier League might really test Leeds' resolve in keeping him, because somebody getting relegated to the Championship could go, Joe Piros, our man, is guaranteed goals at this level, which is, there's never any guarantees, but he's as close to a guarantee at this level as you can get for goals.
Yeah.
If you consider the last 3 or 4 seasons, he's as close to a guarantee as you get. Quite similar to Mitrovic. Mitrovic just scored goals at this level. He only had 1 good season in the Premier League, but he just scored goals at this level. So if you were going to sign somebody, that's who you'd identify. So they might go, do you know what, Leeds, here's 20 million. Because we know that guy's going to get promoted again next season if we're given the chances. Now, do they turn 20 million down for him? Because the relegated sides can afford that because it makes sense.
How he's doing.
It also depends on any deals to be made and what Leeds are looking to do. And actually, if they take that 20 million and buy a 9 that's going to lead the line in a way that Farke wants, in a way that Bamford could do if he want made of biscuits, then that might be something that would tempt them, or something that is on the radar or in the planning. Because I do think that the likes of Ipswich, maybe Leicester, because I don't think Vardy's staying, is he?
I'd be surprised.
Looking at those sides, it's very, very easy to make a case to go and try and sign him if Leeds
100%.
are only 60-40 on keeping.
Makes sense for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense for them. But the good thing is, because we are now a Premier League club, we can ask a bit more than we probably could have if we were down there, if we do want to sell. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to actively move him on. I want to see him get a shot. I think he's earned that. Yeah,
I think people talk about Farke and the fact that he's never had a real crack at the whip in Premier League. Was it something mad like 14 million he had to spend across 2 seasons for Norwich? Something daft like that.
That's stupid.
He's never been tested at that level. He's never been given a proper opportunity at that level. If somebody comes up that, let's talk about Dreamworld Fantasyland. If Haaland goes, do you know what? I've got enough money now. I'm a Leeds fan. I'm going to go play for Leeds in the Premier League. Well, Leeds don't say no to that. And at that point, they probably move Piros on. Especially if somebody goes, do you know what? There's 20 million
and
there.
Spend the entire transfer budget on him.
Yeah, but he's guaranteed goals at this level. So, it's fine.
Well, he is.
No, if you can go sign somebody of a caliber that is top flight already evidenced, and it's only going to cost you 20% more than what you get in for Piros, then maybe there's a deal to be done. I don't think they do. And I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying that they might get tested because at this level, at the Championship level, he is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, I think teams will certainly ask the question. You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
If you're looking to come back up, then you're gonna reach out to players like that, or managers, or whoever. You're gonna at least ask the question, because
absolutely
you're not doing yourself justice if you don't. There's no harm in asking.
That's why it's mad that people were having a total head loss about the potential for Farke to be replaced, and the potential that they're looking at other options as an ownership group. Well, the board are looking at options. Well, of course they're looking at options. What if Farke says, I've had enough, I'm off back to Germany? They need to have other options available to them. They're not doing their job if they're not at least considering what they might do if Farke decides that he's not sticking around, even if they want him.
Well, that's it. And our fans, we know what we're like. Be the first to say, why ain't they got someone lined up? Why ain't they got a shortlist? What are they doing? What are they
why
playing
aren't they doing the job?
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a line between forward planning and looking to replace someone.
Yeah,
absolutely. I hope they're on the right side of that line for me. I know you're kind of on the fence with that one, but
it's one of those. It's one of those. Exactly the same as Peru, really. If you can get somebody that is proven at Premier League, then you'd be mad not to consider it. But I like Farke a lot, and I think he has earned it.
I get the logic.
And it's a heart versus head thing. It very much is a logic thing, isn't it? Because the heart says, give him a chance. And the head goes, well, hang on a minute. If you've got somebody that's already done this at that level, albeit Farke's not been given a fair chance at it. I'm not saying he has and he's failed by any stretch. He's not been given a real go at it. But if you've got somebody that has been given a real go at it and has made a success of it in the past, then you've got to consider it.
And when you think about it, that's the exact criteria that we used when we got Farker for the championship.
Exactly that.
He's the best man for the job
Been there,
at this
done it.
level, so we got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see the logic, but I hope they don't do that. Personally, I don't want to go down that road. It's not what I want.
That's fair. That's a game.
Yeah. One man that I definitely don't want to see leave is Largi Ramazani. I'm a bit gutted we've not seen more of him this year, but I definitely think there's more to come from him, and he could step up, in my opinion. But he comes on last night and he scores immediately, and I think it was his first touch.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, what a
Another
great
cross
assist he got. It was fantastic. Firpo's so good at that. If he gets any space on the wing, running in like that, you know he's going to pick out a man. He had loads of time, and the opposite end to the Aronson piece. If you give Firpo time, he's going to pick out a man, and invariably that man's going to have a chance at goal because the pass is weighted well and it's well positioned, and it was a perfect ball for him. You know, Ramazani running onto it like that.
Lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great ball in, and a good finish.
I was surprised their defender didn't manage to cut it out. It looked like it just skirted around him.
Yes, but equally, having played at centre back, I know that when they call it the corridor of uncertainty sometimes, don't they? You know that often if you get too much of a touch on that, you're smashing it into the back of your own goal. And they're already 2-0 down. You don't want to score their third goal when you're already under the pump in the way that they were against us. You don't want to finish that off with an own goal as well.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But so, it were a peach of a ball and a great finish.
Yeah, it was. And Ramazani coming on like that and doing that. If he'd have put that over, you'd have gone, well, first touch. He's run onto it and he's finished it well.
Yeah, definitely. Eve's saying Ramazani has to play against Scum when we play him next season.
I thought that was Eve, but I've never seen that name. Discourse of Peacocks. Nice.
Yeah, that's her channel. That's her channel. Should go check it out, by the way. Very good.
I mean, in our chat.
No, I know. She doesn't normally watch us.
She was called Evie before.
Can't be asked, can she, watching us? But yeah, I think he had a great little cameo last night, and once again, he was front and centre of the celebrations too. He looks like he really likes to have a good time, that lad, doesn't he?
Loves it, doesn't he? That little dance that he does. The one that he needed his shades on pitch, didn't he? But do you know, the second goal, but even better because, I mean, Gruev's pass over the top in behind like that, weighted perfectly. But
he played a number of good passes this night.
But how many players will be able to touch it down with one foot and finish it with the other foot that well? You know, he's shown that he's got the technical capability, because in our side, I'm thinking, well, there's probably really only Solomon that's got that technical ability other than potentially Ramazani. Maybe Nonto, maybe Piros, but he did it so well. I mean, that to kill it dead like that, bounce it perfectly and then finish it off with the other foot, that's incredible. And you know, we were all crowing about it. I was right behind it. I could see that bit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something at least.
Yeah. No, it was nice. It was lovely. That really, really good, crisp finish. And like I said, you know, if you look at the player rating to Bristol City, their keeper was their man of the match by almost 2 points. But he could do nothing about any of them.
Nah, no way. Just everything was just bang on. We were clinical.
It had to be though, didn't it? I mean, we had so many chances and we didn't finish them that it were almost like they went, well, fuck you then, we'll just do it better. Which is what you want.
And we did. Yeah.
Evie's giving you some stick back, by the way.
Do plan A better.
Turn your feck off. Just that small, you can't see me here. Do you know who you're talking to, Evie? Is it Jay?
Get Ben. Most people tell me to feck off anyway, so it's all right. I'm not offended by that. Yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought now, but yeah, Ramazani.
Oh, we're talking Ramazani.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any harm for next season anyway. Let's put it that way. And I think
no, not at all.
After coming on and doing that, I reckon he deserves to start the next game, with it being the last one of the season. I think he's earned a start.
Okay, then. So Solomon were man of the match. So who are you dropping?
I'd probably have to drop Willie.
Oh, come on. You had the one shot. Just drop Aronson. Just do it. It's fine.
No, I
Put
meant
him onto it
put him
middle.
on the wing.
Put onto
yeah,
it
all
middle.
right, let's do that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, let's do that. That works. I was just thinking purely the wings, you know.
No,
you can probably
yeah,
tell
I mean,
I'm really tired today and struggling.
You can't drop Solomon off the back of a man of the match performance, though, can you?
No, you can't.
And he's done so well recently. You know, we mentioned it earlier on, but the number of assists and goals that he's scored over the past 6-8 games is unreal. He's really taken on that mantle, and he's showing that he loves it. You know, give me ball.
Yeah.
He never shies away from it. It's give me ball, and if there's 2-3 men on him, well, he'll still do what he does.
Yeah, it's like you see some players, they don't want you to pass it to him if there's someone near him. Solomon can have 3 men around him and still receive a ball and try to do something. And
Rothwell's another one. There's not many of them in our team. You know, Dan James, Nonto, they want to run onto the ball. Which obviously because they've got pace, actually, that's why they want that. They want the ball played in front of them. Bogle and Firpo largely are the same. They want the ball played in front of them so they can run onto it and then do something because it's much more difficult to defend against. Solomon will stand somebody up and then he's just gone.
Yeah. I love that. I love watching him do little tricks and get past people. It's ace. Just love when he sends people for an hot dog, makes them look stupid, puts across.
Yeah, big time.
That's what
but Bogle has shown it that he's got that in his locker. There's times when Bogle stands somebody up and then all of a sudden he's gone. It's almost like he's gone through him instead of around him, and he's like, "How the fuck did he do that? What did he even do there? Show me a replay and slow it down."
Like the Matrix. He's really quick, isn't he? He's just say that like he had a difficult start. Like once he found his stride, he's just never really looked back. He's just been.
I think it's Carl's giving him that motivation. Carl just hammered him right at the start, and Bogle went, "Right, fuck you then. I'm going to show you."
Like he did to Luke Early.
Yeah, exactly that. And Dallas. He just hates fullbacks, doesn't he?
Well, he just likes writing people off, doesn't he? You know, just loves to bin them. So after all the excitement there and seeing Bristol get their one shot on goal, and Bristol
having taken Naki Wells off, who we reminded was absolutely shit.
Oh, I can't stand him. He's a right little bastard. It's just been like a annoying mosquito. Cheers. Around Leeds United heads. But yeah, I mean the celebrations all sort of started after the Bristol fans had a nice long drive home, but 2 of them got involved and they enjoyed themselves, which were a good laugh.
Rate that.
Fucking love that. It was ace. I'm sure there were a video of that somewhere, but for some reason I managed to get that one to hand.
Oh, yeah, I had seen it. I'd seen the one that were a Bristol fan that were recording it, and he kind of went round the ground like that, and then went round all of the empty seats in the Bristol end, and then there were just them 2 gadgets just at end, just dancing around like these fans. Now, the one thing here, because I'm a very cynical person. I am a very, very cynical person. Were there Leeds fans in Bristol End?
Would any Leeds fan put a red shirt on even to blend in?
Oh, I'm colourblind. I'd not picked up on that.
Oh, okay. Well, one of them had a Bristol shirt on.
Well, clearly they definitely wouldn't have worn Leeds colours because then you're going to get found out, aren't you?
Wear something normal, wouldn't you? Wear something black.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't work in colour, so I've not picked up on that. So yeah, no, you're probably right. But that's my cynical brain going, well.
Like a dog, you just see in black and white.
That's it.
Can't look up.
You know dogs can't look up?
That's what I just said.
Is it? You froze. I didn't get it all.
All right, okay. I thought you were just being a knob.
No, I wasn't doing a Luke, and I wasn't doing any. No, you froze for like a second and a half or something.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I said you see in black and white and you can't look up either, and then you said the same thing,
yeah.
So.
I just got the black and white bit. Fun, this, isn't it?
I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi tonight. Like I've not had Wi-Fi issues on this for probably 6 months.
Well, you fucked it now.
Been going too well,
the next 3 are going to be knackered, aren't they?
Oh, probably, yeah, probably. But yeah, the sort of celebrations after and stuff, it was just ace. Everybody stayed. The atmosphere were amazing. Bogle's kid stole the show on the pitch. Scored
Yeah.
a penalty that he took, didn't he? And I saw him, this little lad. What was he, like 4 years old or something?
Well, I were
5.
right at back at West Stand. It looked like a kid that were even smaller than that.
Yeah,
it looked like
this
2 or 3 year old just running down length at pitch.
Well, yeah, he started running from edge of 18-yard box. And he ran to halfway line.
Yeah.
Well,
he went halfway into the other half. I think when his sister or somebody went and got him and then brought him back. But you know what really pissed me off?
I think I stopped tracking him at that point.
Something really pissed me off at this point because for whatever reason, the stewards decided to line themselves up on the goal line. But I get that they don't want fans going onto the pitch, and they've done all of that. We're going to have to ban you if you do, and all of that sort of stuff. But you had 6 or 7 stewards lined up on the goal line, like in the goal. What are fans going to do? Run through the goal to get onto the pitch? What are those stewards doing? But there were the guys that had a football there. Well, so Bogle's kid's running towards the goal. Now, what I'm thinking here is, right, okay, I work for this club. I'm going to get them stewards that are doing absolutely fucking nothing out of the way, and I'm going to get this kid to score a goal because that'll be the biggest cheer at night. And he just fucked off with ball. I'm like, what are you doing? That would be ace. Let the kid do that because that kid's going to remember that forever. He just walked off with ball. Like, oh,
exactly.
Come on. Have a thought.
Bastard.
He wasn't nasty.
He'd be one of them that runs kids' footballs over when they're going road.
Get out of my garden. Stab it.
Yeah. And fling it back
you
over.
Joyless bastards. No, it wasn't nasty or anything like that. I don't think he saw it happening or anything. He just picked a ball up and just wandered off with it. But that would have been brilliant because that's the sort of thing you want to see, innit? Players families on the pitch celebrating them. You know, there were a few of us went over to Valencia and made Pablo cry, and he brought his kids on pitch with him and waved to us and whatever else, watching him play for Castellon. And that's the stuff. You know, these are humans, and we want to celebrate the fact that they've been legends for our club. And a lot of people cringe at me calling them legends, but you know what? If we hadn't got promoted this time, we'd have been asset stripped. We'd have been really up against it to do anything across the course of the next 3 or 4 seasons. And we might have been back in the fucking wilderness for God knows how long again. So it were really important. And I think, and I think that it can't be underestimated what they've achieved. So, you know, having lost, what was it, £140 million worth of player, an amount unheard of. Probably the most. Yeah. What was it that Fara said not so long since? Probably the most any club in Europe sold during that transfer window. It's like to be in this position now, where we might even possibly still now get 100 points. Fucking hell, we'd have absolutely snapped your arm off at the start of the season. I think it can't be underestimated what they've done. And to go into that game last night, knowing that we had to win because Burnley had already played and they'd already picked up the 3 points. I think. Yeah. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, at kickoff we were second, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, knowing that they had to go into that and win and doing it in the way that they did, you know, they did not give him a sniff at all. Right from the start, it was give us the ball.
Oh no.
We're having a party and we're going to show you what we're doing.
Well, just looking at that again.
Immense.
The graph.
Yeah.
It's just
there
were nothing from another. There were
no mercy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I got a nice little picture here for us.
Bless him. I actually saw Rothwell getting out of his car before kickoff because we were in the West Stand, because I just took any ticket that we could. As I said, we were on our way into the West Stand. So we walked past Dan James, who was stood next to the ticket office. And neither Gail nor my lad, who loved Dan James, neither of them noticed. I had to point him out afterwards. And then as we were walking down, Rothwell was just getting out of his car. I mean, we didn't interact with him. It was like, you know, crack on, do whatever you need to do, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice that the likes of James, Rothwell, Stroik, who've been injured towards the end of the season, were able to go on pitch and celebrate with them. I did go, they've done a John Terry because they went in with a full kit and whatever else. But
yeah. That's for pictures, though, and it's just for pictures.
Yeah,
and at least they've
don't begrudge them any of it.
Nah, they've all played the part. Even Melier. It was nice to see him smile. He's pissed us off.
Melly had more clean sheets than Darlow did.
Yeah, I know. He's pissed us off at various points, but I'm glad that he were able to get involved and enjoy himself with it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they've been a squad. Even the ones that didn't play much. Schmidt's another one. Didn't play much, but you've got to have somebody to train against. The players that are playing, you need somebody to train against. So they've all done the bit.
Everyone's played the part. It's just been an awesome season, and the squad we've put together. The fact that we lost Ampadu and Gruev early on for months, and then we had Tanaka and Rothwell just step in. And
if you'd have told us that start of the season, by the way, your 2 starting centre mids are going to be out for months. We'd have gone, well, that's it. Fuck then, we might as well put it in.
We told everyone.
Yeah.
We'd just have been like, oh, get me fucking razor blades, I'm done.
Just fuck it off then. We're definitely not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden, Rothwell and Tanaka just turned out to be a brilliant partnership. So it were nice to be able to see them coming on and celebrating. And it's nice being this good. We need to remember this. We have to remember this because next season might not be great. But this right now, this is why we do it. This feeling last night, the peacock after the last win and watching Burnley beat Sheffield United, those are the reasons that we go through the Wigans and the derbies and the drudgery and the bullshit and the League One. You got to remember this. I'm so glad that my lad has taken an interest this season because those are memories he won't forget ever.
Yeah, that's
I'm so glad.
It's stuff like that makes you a fan for life as well.
Yeah.
He's experienced that when you're a kid.
He's fucked it now.
He'll never get any better, will it?
We've had one good season. It's never going to get any better than
next 30 years of his life now will be torture like last 30 years of mine have been. Fucking hell. But I mean, we've got the job done now and we just need to go on and win the title, but we're just playing so well. Everybody just looks relaxed now. Like the pressure's off. Everyone's just enjoying themselves. And you can see that. Everyone's part of it. They're all together. There's nobody that stands at side while everyone else is together. There's none of that. There doesn't appear to be any little groups or anything. Everyone's just together. I love it.
No, that's right. I'd started something about where was it? This one from Steve Brown. Ramazani said in the post-match interview he needs to work harder and be more consistent to become a starter. It would be really easy for him to be pissed off and go, look what I can do, and you've not given me a chance, and then just get really angry about it. And sounds like he's gone the way that you would hope that they've gone, rather than the negative way, and go, look, I've shown you what I can do, so give me a chance, and then I'll work at it, which is exactly what you want.
And again, that's good man management. He's handled that player the right way. He's getting results from him. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can't deny it. Have you seen the per 90 stats that Ramazani's got? No. I saw it on Twitter earlier. I've not got a copy of it, but it's far and away better than anybody else in the division. Oh, really?
And Piros, the per 90 stats, it's incredible. And given more time, because his opportunities have been limited, but he's taken them, and he's done well in them. That's borne out. If you're playing more of a game, obviously it's going to be more difficult to maintain that level. But it shows that he's got it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all know that. We can tell he's got it. It's a shame he's had a couple of sort of quiet games in the middle of the season. He got a couple of outings, didn't he? He didn't do so well, and then he were out at team again. We know what he can do, and hopefully this is just a start for him.
And we'd seen how important he was before his injury, because when Solomon were injured, he really stepped up. And then he got injured. Was it the Watford game at home?
Yeah.
And
it really on though.
We'd scored a couple in first 10 minutes, and then he went off injured.
That's right.
And we kind of really lost our way, and that showed just that in isolation showed how important he was for us at that time. And that's why I think that's while Solomon were injured, or maybe while Solomon were coming back from injury, which we saw that he struggled to come back from injury. He wasn't up to speed immediately.
He ended up having to chuck him and Dan James in, didn't he, before they were ready? Both of them.
Yeah.
We had nobody.
Yeah, exactly. So he showed he's got capability. Were important to us earlier in the season, and coming on and doing what he did, that's incredible. But just just to go back to the celebrations after, I think that there were a couple. So Harry Gray's a star. I just love it because he's 16? He's on the pitch that his granddad and his dad and his brother have played on, and he's got a scarf tied round his head like Rambo, and he's just dancing around and doing whatever he wants. I mean that's just ace. Ampadu sliding, Harry Gray still, sliding around on his knees like the little boy at a wedding does, onto the dance floor, and Ampadu throwing himself in front of it. You would have been behind it, but Ampadu threw himself in front of the promotion thing and slid along in front of it while they were all stood behind it, so you wouldn't have been able to see it from where you were, but they were facing us. So like he slid in, and then drenching Farker with all of the champagne, and Nonto. Did you see Nonto? Yeah, he did. He really did. But did you see Nonto chasing Ampadu round?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Ampadu showed him a clean pair of heels as well. I thought Nonto had been able to catch him, but he couldn't get near him. They were just so. Don't call him that. We're not allowed to say that word either.
Come on now.
No, it's just genuinely. It would just. It's ace being this good. And we know that it doesn't last. And for it to mean something, there has to be a bit of jeopardy. You look at Man City now and their fans not going to Wembley because they've been so often recently and all of that. So you've got to have the highs and the lows. If I'd never seen such riches, I could live with being poor. But, the other side to things is it's only when you've had the lows that you appreciate the highs. And so you've got to have a mix in, but that's the point, isn't it? That's why it's so special when nights like last night come around.
Big time. And that's what you do it for. It's what you live for. It's just football means so much to us, and it is only a game and all that, but it means so much to us, and it can dictate your mood for entire months. Because I know how I felt last summer. I didn't feel like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was done with football at that point. After it's the emotional roller coaster of getting so close, having been top, letting it go, ending up in the playoffs, and then losing again at Wembley.
It is.
And the aftermath of that, when you're walking away and you're just thinking all the worst things about what that could mean, who's going to leave,
or what it could have been. Do you know? I even begrudge not getting the night out in London after Wembley.
Yeah,
because we trudged out of the ground and we trudged back to our hotel, and nobody wanted to go anywhere or do anything. So we went to a restaurant it would have like a pub food thing that were a stone's throw away from hotel. We sat down, we had something to eat, we went back, and that was it. And contrast that with what it would have been if we'd have got promoted. That it would have been just incredible scenes all across London, people getting arrested left, right, and centre.
I'd have been in fountains at Trafalgar Square. Or something,
many of us would have been. It would have been incredible. So you even begrudge the fact that you don't get that level of experience, because Southampton didn't deserve it. They probably just clapped and then they went back to their hotel as well. Boring bastards. But yeah, it's nice to do it this way because they've had a real shit, torrid time of it this season, and we've had a great season.
And it's been nice to watch that without being alongside them.
Yeah, it really has. And all of the critics, of which I'll hold my hands up, I was part of it. Not as extreme as many, but a part of it saying the football were a bit boring. Well, fucking hell, he's put that to bed. Ain't he just?
Mate, I said the same thing at times. And then when we're on that shitty run, I was just like, oh, God, why were I moaning about no jeopardy and playing safe? And then you think, oh, I'd take that back now. I'd take it back. I just want to win games.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I was saying, but if we do this all season and get promoted, I'll take it. But it just it didn't seem that enjoyable at the time. And when you put it into context, that's fucking madness.
and it's frustrating as well because, like, when you're going back to the keeper all the time, and then you've got a guy that can't distribute and just boots it out if he does go for a long pass or anything. It's just, man, it just really is still wind me up. But hey, we got there, so we don't need to be upset about it.
Do you know, just to mention of Wembley and to mention of Man City, but it's absolutely right. I know it's not to do with us, but shouldn't have semis at Wembley. 100% accurate. It devalues the final.
It does.
Stop fucking doing it.
It's meant to be the showpiece.
It's just Wembley and the FA trying to make more money out of it. That's all it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
But
they can charge you £10 for a pint in Wembley.
But Debs makes a point as well. I don't know if you picked up on this, but Gruev brought when all of the players, the squad, were all dancing around together. Gruev came out of it and brought all the backroom staff over, and they all joined in, and that was a great moment as well. Because without a successful backroom staff, you don't have a successful squad. It is. It's not just as important, clearly, because the players are the most important aspect of being able to deliver. Because if you don't have the right players, you can't deliver. But it's a massive integral part of success is having a successful backroom team. Absolutely, get them in.
A successful
backroom team. I've put my teeth back in. I said a successful backroom team.
Yeah, it's like if Max Verstappen didn't have a pit crew, he wouldn't win a race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But fuck Max anyway, because
can't stand him. It's just I was going to say Lewis Hamilton, and then I thought, well, you're just going to say, well, he don't win anyway, does he? So it won the work.
Done. He's won more world champions than any other Englishman. But no, it's I think when it comes to it, you've got the backroom staff, you've got the squad, you've got the manager. Albeit, at times we referred to it as boring football because there was no jeopardy, because it seemed too easy at points. Then we made it a bit more difficult for ourselves, so it became entertaining again, and we still might end up on 100 points, and we still might score more goals than we've ever scored in any season. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Isn't it? It's yeah. Steve Brown's saying you can't be boring and score 93 goals. I mean, you kind of can, but yeah, I get what you mean.
7-0 against Cardiff, 6-0, 4-0. It's just multiple 4-0s. It's been a hell of a season. I'm looking forward to us doing the season recap because it's been a hell of a season.
Oh, there's definitely been ups and downs.
Oh yeah, and there's been some proper shit takes as well. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice. We need to have like a didn't happen of the year awards, kind of shit take of the year award.
Shit take World Cups.
The shitties. We'll get a trophy with like a turd on a plinth.
Yeah, we can sort out a shit takes World Cup.
We'll sort that out, though, yeah. That'll be it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to use a spreadsheet again over at so
Love it. Love it.
Comment from Whitesnake. It says, I was asked how I celebrated 14,000 kilometers away, sitting in front of the TV watching the celebrations. Mate, when I worked in Afghanistan, I sat in a small TV room, no alcohol, with a couple of Turkish blokes watching us get dicked by Derby in that playoff game. And that's got to be one of the most depressing ways that I've ever watched a Leeds United game in my life. So,
shall I tell you where I was?
I'll take it sat in front of the TV having a good time with a few beers. Go on.
For that game, I was sat next to the Derby fans in the West Stand.
Oh, God, no.
It was horrendous.
That game,
absolutely horrendous.
Stuart Dellasoy were like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, he went on a one-man mission to try and save the day, didn't he?
But he was brilliant.
It was just the fact that they were the only one that were doing that.
Yeah.
And he did a fair bit to say it were only him, but yeah, anyway, we're there now.
And then Izzy Brown stepped up to write his name into the history books with that free kick right at the end.
We all thought, it's written in the stars. Come on.
It is.
It was like that Roy Hodgson meme.
Yeah.
Never mind. Turn it off.
We're done here. Let's go home.
Right, I'm going to fire through these comments before we finish up because we've waffled enough and I'm absolutely half dead. So, Lee Fryer says, we're all positive, Jay, now. That's what I like to hear. Stephen Horseman says, getting under 21's National League Cup winners 2-1. Harry Gray with the second goal. As if he's
That's
played.
Nice, isn't it? So he scored the winner. That's nice.
He scored the winner, pissed. He's got to have had a drink. He's Scottish.
He can't have had a drink. He's 16. He can't even get changed with the big men.
Drink, but you can have a drink at home, so it's all right. Liam B says, great news about the under-21 team. More silverware for Leeds. Congrats, lads. Awesome. Stands are in good stead. Evie says, can we allow Harrison to train with the under-21 till January and then sell him just for our amusement? Now, I would like that. I'd like that. And I want to make sure that when he's sold, I want like a picture of his mum crying or something. Because we've
just an interview with her.
Like shit. Yeah. That'll do. Tom Gatlin says, "What do you think of Parag or the club not coming out and saying we 100% back Farke due to all the rumours?" We talked about this a bit, haven't we?
We did. I think you and I had a different viewpoint because, well, I don't want to speak for you. You can share your own viewpoint. I think mine was, my perception of it was that it was such an obvious bullshit rumor that I didn't want the club to give any credence to it. I didn't want them to come out and say there's nothing to this, because if they do that all the time, then I think it would have been the wrong move for the club. Them to come out and say no comment said to me, "There's no here. There's nothing to be aware of. We're concentrating on winning the league now that we've secured promotion. Let's let the gaffer do his job." But I also get at the same time the viewpoint that other people had, not necessarily self, but just on Twitter and whatever else, where they're going, well, this could impact our season. So if they come out and say we're behind the manager, we remain behind the manager, we've said all along that we were, then it might stop there being any pressure that might build up otherwise. Damned if you do, damned if you don't on behalf of the club, really, in that kind of sense.
Yeah, you kind of are. I was a bit miffed that they didn't say something stronger, because I was worried that it would sort of derail us and disrupt our sort of title challenge, but doesn't seem to have done any damage, does it? And I said, don't believe what you read, and that'll do for me for now. We'll see what happens, but I'm kind of done with it and moved on. I think it's been put to bed as much as it's going to be.
Yeah.
Next one is Evie again. She says, Nonto's been showing us those Prem glimpses we saw in the relegation season. I think he has in the last few games, but I just wish he'd showed us them a little bit earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a frustrating season for him as well, hasn't it? Mostly because Dan James and Solomon's form has been so good. Kind of November through to the end of March, they were largely unplayable against pretty much everybody we played against during that period. Yeah, I think that Smarty's probably been the most overtly saying it, but we've all kind of said you can't change a winning team. And while we were winning, and that incredible run we went on from November through to March before losing a game, is just, well, how do you mess around with that? Because anybody you drop, you've got to kind of justify doing that, and just doing it for squad rotation when players are desperate to play and are in form, and what you might do is disrupt that form if you drop them. It's really, really difficult. It is a challenge.
It is,
I think that I would have liked to have, we've spoken about this at length. I would have liked to have seen changes happen earlier in games to get more minutes into the legs of the players that are on the bench and in the wings. So that's the only slight criticism that you level. But it's been a successful season, and being critical of anybody is, I think, is remiss, because it's been such a good season. But I think you are right. It's not been with the level of consistency. Maybe if there were more minutes, he would have been more consistent. But he's shown he's got the quality.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Next one, Steve Brown. Ramazani also thanked the manager and the squad for getting him through a difficult time. Again, great man management there for me.
Yeah, that's important. I think, when you saw Somerville and Willie, and you had that relationship there, and there were, I actually think that if you cast your mind back, I think it was Willie being the grounding for Somerville actually at that time. Which is incredible, because he was just a kid. But just grounded and kind of head switched on, I guess, older head on younger shoulders. But I think the fact that they've all played so well, and you were right to say that the man management of them has been spot on, because that's how you get the results. There's the arm around the shoulders. We said it when we were training the other day, didn't we? What did you said? I'm one that needs an arm around the shoulder, not a kick up the arse.
That's right. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I said. That's me. Tell me I'm doing great, Carl. Stop telling me to run more. You horrible bastard.
The foot does feel a little bit better tonight, so we might be all right. That might be the beer. Who knows?
You look like you might have done something serious when you first went down. I thought.
Oh yeah, I was worried.
Oh,
but
God.
we'll see.
Show must go on, mate. Evie says, I think it was the most sold in the world during the summer windows last year. That's with regard to us talking about the players we sold.
Yeah, that'd be
the season.
Gray, Rutter, Somerville, Kamara, all those players leaving during that window, and the way that they've responded to it is. Sorry?
The most, though, in the world.
Yeah, it is incredible, isn't it? And to have this season off the back of that, with so many people going, well, yeah, you've got most expensive squad. Yeah, but hang on a minute, we took £140 million worth of player out of it last summer. That's incredible.
Exactly. And that annoyed me as well early on when we would beat teams and say, oh, well, they're a Premier League team out there. It's like, no, the players that play in the Premier League are all gone or injured. There's no one in that team that's really a Premier League player for us.
Are you a Premier League team if you get relegated from it? Because clearly you're not good enough to be a Premier League team with those players. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been relegated.
It's such shit logic, isn't it? It's such shit logic. Let's say also excuse playing badly some managers. Herbert says, I remember Salah's kid tapping the ball in the net last time they won the league, and the cheer made her jump out of her skin.
I mean, that must have been one of the only cheers that Liverpool have.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean,
Anfield's a myth.
I'd like to give 3 cheers to the Everton fan, though, that repackaged a load of blue
was that true?
To Liverpool fans. Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I saw the picture, but you don't know if somebody's just taking the piss or if they've actually spent all of that time doing that. But I didn't look. I didn't want to see any of the Liverpool. Well, I didn't want to see any of their celebrations because I hate them. But isn't it weird though? 60s, 80s. Now we get promoted, they win the league.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Telling you, when they built the Leeds Liverpool Canal, they unlocked something. And it's like created some kind of cosmic bond.
It's not ley lines. It didn't exist beforehand, and the canal's just on it. There's just an energy. But I mean, I would not trade our promotions for them winning the league. But I'd love it if we could just not turn our promotion with them in the league because I hate them.
Yeah, but to be fair, of all the teams that are capable of winning the league in the Premier League, we don't like any of them. So
well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And they all hate Man City. So I don't like Man City, but I hate them less. I hate Arsenal.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I hate the scum. I hate Chelsea. I hate Liverpool. I hate Man City less than all of the others.
And Pep's a Bielsa-ist, so...
He is, which is nice. And Haaland's a Leeds fan, so, you know.
Exactly. And they were watching us yesterday.
Not so bad. Yeah, apparently so. I saw that as well. Yeah.
Last comment. No, you've added 2 more after this. White Rosal, he says, Ramazani's been on the fringe but looks a great player. That's what happens in a competitive side. White Rosal again says, any truth that Bamford is putting money behind the counter and Gravel on Saturday? Don't know about Gravel but I tell you what, if he did, we'd have to go down.
Gravely's, surely. Not Gravely's. Gravely's.
Well, however it's said, I never go. You've thrown me again now, yeah. So yeah, we had money behind the bar from Bamford, didn't we? I think Larry Nance put some on afterwards.
Well, I know we were around. I've seen lots of photos of people with him, but I had my lad with me, so we didn't stick around after the game.
Somebody in front of me went, "Oh, Larry Nance has paid some beers on for everyone." And I saw these people get the pints, and I thought, "Fucking ace, 2 pinter, please, cause." So I got myself a big one.
And was it paid on?
Yeah, it was all paid.
Oh, nice. Well, Bamford's had apparently gone by 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. No. We saw Larry very briefly. I got rolling.
As Gail pointed out, Cooper's lasted 2 games.
How much did he put on?
Well, I don't know, but it apparently his money lasted 2 games.
Piss off. I don't think I got anything out of that one, but to be fair, I slagged him off that much. It probably wouldn't have been right to drink his beer.
Did from Cooper's, but I wonder if it's because they made it the Ossett Brewery cans instead of just being pints.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I remember that. I remember him giving us cans.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if it was just because it was that.
I'd forgotten about that. That's just dangerous anyway. Carl drinks that 8.5% one now, doesn't he?
Oh, no, I didn't have any of that. He was about 5%. He was a standard lager. That mad rocket fuel he has.
Yeah, he loves it. Last comment is Paul Brennan. He says, Sky TV and officials have tried to sabotage our promotion push. The shitsters. shysters. They
Shysters.
have failed. They have failed. All Leeds outweigh. Leeds are going up. Keep fighting. Well said, Paul.
Fight and win.
We can all agree on that. Absolutely. You have to win, don't you? Like Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Have you got what you want to say before we finish up, mate?
Debs just asks, did everybody know it was free bar 5 hours before when it was Cooper? No, but we were all given the advance notice this time, weren't we?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it was a bank holiday either. Bank holiday weekend and oh no, wrong one, isn't it? It wasn't.
No, because it were last weekend for bank holiday.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Do you know what? Fuck it.
It's been a weird week or two, hasn't it?
It really has. It really has.
Monday games. It's just, mate. I've consumed,
and then with another bank holiday coming up as well. So you know,
I've consumed more alcohol in the last sort of 8-9 days than like the population of a small country.
As long as that small country is not Scotland.
Oh no, we don't want any of that. Do we? We don't want to be bigging up Scotch Gaz and letting him get.
Oh well, he's the only Scotch person that can't drink.
That's because he's inside to clog that with deep fried pizza slices.
Deep fried sushi is apparently a new thing, but anyway, we don't need to get into that.
We certainly don't, mate. We certainly don't. But yeah, I ain't got what else to go through, mate. I don't know if you've got what else you want to add. Otherwise,
no, mate. No, I was just thinking about next pods. So there might be a main pod Thursday because Tuesdays is usually the main pod, but sometimes we'll move that to a Thursday. So we'll work out when we're doing that. Obviously, there'll be an after match for the Plymouth game. Whoever's compass, I think, will be running that one.
Absolutely.
Then there'll be an end of season special. We'll look back at some of the shit takes, and we'll look back at some of the highs and lows of the season, I guess, and try and just tease out and put together thoughts and feelings over the course of the season, rather than just once you've been successful, it's easy to think the entire season was just a breeze. But there were points in it that people had the doubt. So you know, we'll try and get a flavour of all of that and end of the season special as well. And then it'll be a case of looking forward and looking at you know, when the fixtures are going to be out for the Premier League, because we're now a Premier League club again, which is nice to say.
That's right.
We'll have to deal with
they always get the newly promoted.
Yeah, because he always is, and it'll be at their place.
Yeah.
And then trying to navigate our way through all of the fucking bullshit rumours over the course of the summer with the kids off school and.
It's either going to be one of them where everything's silent and we don't hear anything, or it's just going to be wild speculation.
Well, the worst thing is, if there's nothing coming from the club, the void gets filled with the wild speculation, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah,
so it'll either be a great summer and we'll sign all of these players that we all want, or it'll be radio silence until we get close to the season, and then hopefully there'll be some moves happen.
And then they announce the return of Rafinha.
Well, yeah, and we're bringing Haaland in to play in the centre because he's a Leeds fan, and
we'll be like, we've not even had to pay out for him because Barcelona never paid us.
Yeah, signing the Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, that'd be lovely. That'd be just nice.
Let's do that.
He'd combine really well with Junior Firpo.
Oh, absolutely.
Ex-Barca Junior Firpo, ex-Barca Rafinha.
We'd have the best left-hand side in the world. Although I'm sure he played on the right, didn't he, Rafinha?
He did play on right. Yeah, but we were also on long throws.
Oh, that's true, yeah. So you got to do that. Right, I think we've waffled enough.
We're done.
So cheers for joining me. Cheers for coming and watching, everyone. And if you can be asked, giving us a like and a subscribe, we'd appreciate that. If you can't, then fuck you and piss off. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Leeds.
See ya.